It's showtime, folks. Welcome in. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game on a reaction Monday to the 0-3 Tennessee Titans. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane Nick Frazier is back at our studios. Our man Sean Mark here as well, as we're live at Hermitage Golf Course today. We'll tell you more about what we're doing here and what that's all about. But today, I am fully expecting us to, honestly, I don't know if fun is the right word, but
it's always fun.
There's going to be people that have some things to say.
We, in our market, we have the worst football team in the National Football League, and I feel really great about that. And yesterday was not a microcosm. It was an absolute theater of how bad this football team is. And it's not getting any better. And so we got 2 hours of therapy today for everybody to call in, text in, get it off your chest, and let's move on with our lives if we can. But yesterday, and you were there, Chase, I was there. My one takeaway, and I know you got a lot of takeaways, where was the effort? The body language from the Tennessee Titans is absolutely awful. They walked. Seeing Jeffrey Simmons, Sweat, and Kenneth Murray walk off the field almost over every down or every change of series was driving me crazy. Zero effort, and it was awful.
So I thought about last night, or I was at the game, as you mentioned. You were at the game. And I literally thought about, I should go home and record my rant right now. But I realized that it would take me me or Dr. Crane about an hour to put all the beeps in for all the cuss words that I would drop. So I just decided to sleep on it and come in today and, just be ready to go. I think there's a lot of people to blame. There's a lot of people to blame for this being the worst football team in the National Football League, as you just said. And quite frankly, they're the worst franchise right now. They're in the list of, maybe not the worst, but they are on that list of bad franchises right now.
Yeah, I mean the Panthers won a game, so you can't.
Sure.
Panthers are ahead of them. If you look at, they're 1-2. They went on the road and beat the Raiders yesterday, and it was just, we laughed about Malik coming here. We didn't really think that was going to happen. We was like, they'll get to him. He was great yesterday. And the fact that there was no energy from the Titans and none of that was mind-boggling to me. Can this team not tackle anymore?
Oh, God.
The missed tackles were atrocious. And why in the hell are you throwing a deep ball in double coverage to Traylon Burks?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said to the people I was with, I was like, hey, he was either going to throw it and get picked off or Traylon was going to drop it.
It was terrible.
I mean, that's just kind of where we're at.
What are you doing? I was like, why are you doing this?
So here's my thing. This is who I am putting, and there's a lot of blame to go around, but it starts with one person, Amy Adams-Strunk, the owner. And you know why? And there's going to be people that agree with me on this, and there's going to be people that want to argue with me on this. I don't care. This is my opinion.
Okay, let it go, pal.
This crap started the day she fired John Robinson with a winning record in the middle of the season.
But that wasn't the problem, though, Chase. That was, yeah, you're right. You're wrong. You're absolutely right.
The knee-jerk reaction to firing John Robinson, whether he was a good whether he was, had made mistakes or not. And look, I hold him accountable for this too. But on December 6, 2022, when she fired him, that's when this avalanche started.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And it went straight to where, and it's not getting better. And now, you see Malik is all over the TV last night. I'm watching him. They showed him on SportsCenter a few moments ago, and well-deserved.
Yeah.
Well-deserved on that. But I totally agree with you on that. But I'm telling you, I go back to training camp. And again, we want to hear your thoughts, 615-737-1025. You can call us, text line. Man, we're all in this together today. It's a Dr. Phil show. And here's the deal, is that I had my phone. What's my phone doing here? Stop it. Okay. So I go back to training camp, and I hit this dead horse. I hit it again. The day Simmons got in a fight in training camp and Callahan did not eject him, it's like, well, I mean, it's day one. I saw a very scared and very tempered head coach, and that's not the head coach I want. I want somebody who's going to scream and yell and get mad and get upset. Where's that? Where's being upset? I don't get it. And the fact these players aren't upset. Well, I got to play better and get back next week. You think the players care, Chase? Let me tell you why. That game check comes today. Do you think they care? They're getting paid today. They don't care.
Right.
I'm telling you, 80% of that football team does not care. I saw the effort yesterday. I saw the tackling from your supposedly fantastic cornerbacks who did nothing. I saw Jeffrey Simmons do nothing except put hands to the face during a drive.
Yeah.
Right? What's going on here?
I'm going to say this right now, and I'm sure somebody will tell him that people are saying this stuff about him because he can't help himself. I don't need to hear from you anymore. I don't care if you talk to the media the rest of the year. Shut your mouth and go play football.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
You're right. Dr. Crane, cue up that Stephen A. Smith when Jeffrey Simmons starts talking about this and that. He'll be like, yeah, we
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
I love that. But the fact is, you are 0-3, and it's not getting any better. You got to go on the road and face that Miami team. It's probably pretty pissed off the way they got handled yesterday in Seattle. And plus, they'll hark back to last year about how they got beat on Monday night when they shouldn't have lost that game. Man, this is rough now if you're a Titans fan.
4312 says Stillman has been saying that for months and getting made fun of the whole time. I don't know, Jared, is this your burner account? I've actually about Amy Armstrong. I agree.
Oh.
I've agreed with him on that. He and I've talked about it. I've said it on the air. Like I've been pretty tough on her. I mean, I was like how she handled the Robinson situation, how she handled Vrabel. And look, for those of you that want to point out of why they should have been fired, I'm not going to disagree with you.
Right.
To me, with Robinson specifically, it was the timing. If they had gotten to the end of the season and, either missed the playoffs or gotten beat in the first round, and she looks at an overall evaluation of the roster and just says, yay, it's time for a change, I wouldn't have necessarily liked it, but I would have understood it. And Jared said that yesterday on the pregame show, and he could not have said it any better. I would have understood it. But doing it when she did, when you were leading the division with a winning record, just because you were pissed off that you got embarrassed by a player that he traded, that you told him to trade.
Right.
That's where I have the problem.
When he got let go, Robinson did, I'm thinking, and forgive me for this, something happened internally. Like something was said inside the sports facility over there, that had nothing to do with on the field. I don't want to go out and say what I thought was happening because it was wrong. But I'm like, why did you fire him? Unless there's something we don't know that's going on inside the office.
Yeah.
That's something that HR gets involved in. I'm like, okay. But the fact there's still been no really why did you fire him is still kind of concerning to me. It's been almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
Besides your player you traded away that you said trade away, slap the goalpost with a towel when he's torching your football team. I don't understand it. But right now, she's not on the field. And you got these players on the field that are paid a lot. Where's Calvin Ridley? Where's Tyler Boyd?
I mean, don't get me started. And here's the other thing. We'll get into, the coaches and everything, because I'm going to give Brian Callahan not a pass, but a little bit of a, all right, he's still got to grow as a head coach. But did you notice yesterday when they finally started going to somebody that it worked? Can we just get over this whole DeAndre Hopkins is too old and like we're sending him to the old folks home?
I don't know.
The dude is still great. Like, I don't understand why he's not the first option. I get it. He was coming off an injury, whatever. He looked fine. When he was catching the ball yesterday, he was making plays.
Yeah.
And you paid Ridley all this money, and Ridley hadn't done jack squat yet.
Nothing.
So go to the one that works.
Yeah, right?
Like, I don't get – and Boyd, like, I don't expect Boyd to really tear it up. Boyd, I think, they could use him a little bit more. But, I mean, he's supposed to kind of be your check down, your safety blanket guy. But,
yeah, right.
But, if Hopkins can still be your number one, whether that's the right move for the future or not, I don't give a crap about the future right now. I just want to see him win a damn game.
You're right. But it all goes back to the offensive line
Oh,
because we
God.
talk about these receivers when your quarterback has no time to deliver the football. And look, Levis had some good passes in the first half. When he had time to throw, he threw some good passes when he had time. When you go back there and they're in your face immediately, and now, it's gotten to his head not to run. So he stands back there and he tries to deliver and takes a sack. But that offensive line, why is Nicholas Petit-Frere in the National Football League?
That's a great question. And look,
He's awful.
That you can put in the case against John Robinson of why he should have been fired. And again, because people are like, what an awful take. He had bad draft picks. I get it. My point was, why'd you do it in the middle of the season? It wrecked the season.
Oh,
you can't tell me that it didn't.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
I've had players tell me that it did.
Yeah. So, and you draft these guys. The whole thing was, and I'm telling you, I've heard this from a guy on a national show said, well, Petit-Frere, he came from Ohio State, so he knows how to win.
What does that have to do with it? These
Is
guys
that what we're doing now?
Okay. Like all these guys that have come from Alabama or Ohio State or these quote unquote winning programs in college, that doesn't mean crap when you get to the NFL.
No, it means nothing when you do that.
And these coaches, they're never going to say it, but these coaches in college football, they want to wish their guys the best and they want to prepare them the best they can, but they care about one thing. That's winning college football games.
Exactly. You look at like Lyman. Anthony Munoz played at USC. They win all the time. That's great. Jackie Slater played at Jackson State. He's one of the greatest offensive linemen of all time. So stop with that narrative. A good player is a good player, whether you're on a 1-11 team or a 12-0 team. They've just drafted some really bad players, and now you bring your dad in, who's supposed to be this genius offensive line coach. Your offensive line has gotten worse. There's so many holes in this football team right now that it's almost like a skit. It's so funny. Like, oh, no, there's no way this is happening. And it's happening. And I don't know. The resolution is to win. I don't know if they can win a game.
Look, and now you got to get ready for Monday night, this week against Miami.
Yeah.
So we'll see. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. We will take your calls and texts next. So Will and Wes, you hold on. By the way, Bradford says, which one is worse, getting your ass kicked by A.J. Brown or getting your ass kicked by Malik Willis?
Oh, you know what? Maybe that's our question of the day.
That might be the question right there.
Who gave that question?
Bradford.
Bradford, you are the best. Thank you for a question of the day. Yeah. What's worse, getting beat by A.J. Brown or Malik Willis? Fantastic.
We will discuss that and much more coming up next. Chasing Big Joe live at Hermitage Golf Course, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Malik Willis on a 5-yard touchdown scamper around the right end, and the Packers strike first.
On 4th down, play action. Levis gonna run, going airborne. He didn't get there. Levis throwing deep, and it is intercepted. Xavier McKinney, 3 interceptions in 3 games.
So appropriate.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, well done, Dr. Crane. Well done.
Here he
Jason
goes.
Big Joe.
Chairman of the board.
Jason Big Joe live today. Hermitage Golf Course, Pella Windows and Doors, their golf tournament. I'll tell you more about that, but taking your reaction to the Titans' loss to the Green Bay Packers yesterday at Nissan Stadium, 615-737-1025. Obviously, not a good start to the season for the Titans. Now at 0-3. Let's go to the phones, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Will lead us off. Will, welcome in.
Hey guys, just wondering today, who do y'all think we're gonna fire?
Hey, listen, Will,
Somebody's getting it.
I will say this with this owner, I never know. Like at this point, like Malarkey kind of made sense because it was the GM or the coach. That one, okay. But then she fires Robinson after giving him a contract extension in the middle of the year, fires Vrabel soon after giving him a contract extension. I never know with this owner. So somebody might get fired. It may not be today, but you never know.
Could it be the owner by chance?
If she could fire herself, it might be the best move.
I feel sorry for a member of the custodial crew because they're going to be sent home today because she's so mad at Brian Callahan and Rand Carthon. She's going to fire a member of the custodial staff. That's what's going to happen.
Probably. Thanks for the call, Will. Appreciate it. I mean, look, and none of this is ever personal. Like, I've gotten to meet her a couple of times. She's a very, very nice woman. Like, she's, but it feels like the longer this goes along, the more she's like her father. And that's not good.
She is her father's daughter.
I know. But I mean, like, these are some of the reactions, some of the moves, some of the, areas that the how the franchise is right now is very similar to many things that happened in the Bud Adams era.
It is. All right. So let me ask you our question today. Which loss stings more, A.J. Brown or Malik Willis? I think it's going to be 90% Malik Willis.
I think it's Malik Willis. And this is a good lead into this. You know who deserves a ton of credit? Matt LaFleur. You know who I think is a good head coach? Matt LaFleur. Because here's why. You watched that game yesterday. Malik Willis is not a starter in the National Football League.
Not at all.
He's not.
No.
And everybody knows that. He schemed around him to make him be a winning quarterback. And that is a credit to him. That is a credit to the offensive line. He obviously had an offensive line. Like,
that's where it starts.
Like, the question was asked this morning. I heard it on Robbie and Rex Road. I think it was a texter. If you dropped Levis on that Packers team, would you get the same result? And I thought that was a really good question. I don't know. I thought that Malik was really smart with the football. He didn't try to do too much. But even when he threw the football, I'm like, where has that been? I've never seen that here.
I mean, he threw nice passes. He had time to throw. And when everything broke down, he took off running. And now Will Levis, they've gotten to his mind now about not running. And you got to slide and don't slide. And you whatever. It's all mental now. So I think if he was dropped on that team, I think Levis would have been fine on the Packers team. Because they got guys who yesterday, and all I've got is watching the game yesterday, Packer guys who wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Titans players, to me, did not want to be there yesterday. But you know what? The official Titans account, though, they have those great pictures of the guys getting out of their cars, walking in, ready for game day. I'm like, stop with that. You're 0-3 now. Get a win before you try to be cute with everything. Because right now, your football team is the worst in the National Football League. Out of 32 teams, you're the worst.
So I saw something. This weekend on. I guess it was Twitter. The Chicago White Sox, the worst team in baseball, right?
Okay.
They got beat again And so whoever runs social media says you can find the final score on the MLB app. I was like, the Titans need to start doing that. That was pretty well done.
Oh, that's great.
I mean,
man.
Malik Willis, 13 of 19, 202, 1 touchdown. He was sacked only three times, no interceptions, and then he rushed 6 carries for 73 yards and a touch.
Yep.
I mean, they did a good job making him look good and building the game plan around him yesterday. Let's go back to the phones. Wes wants to weigh in. Wes, welcome in.
I got to apologize in advance for what I'm about to say. And I also have to say, I really appreciate y'all giving me a voice and a platform to say what I need to say about this football team.
Just keep it FCC compliant, please.
Oh, absolutely.
Please.
Absolutely. You fire John Robinson, you bring in Rand Carthon, you fire Mike Vrabel, you bring in Brian Callahan. And Rand Carthon was responsible for Chad Brinker. Is that correct, from Green Bay?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't go. I don't know if anybody's talked about this, but it's now officially been 1,000 days since the Titans have scored 30 points. And you trade a third-round pick that you drafted, that you spent your time with for 2.5 seasons, 3 seasons, and then you trade him for a ham sandwich to the Packers.
Sounds
and on
good.
basically day 1,000, he comes in here and puts up 30 points on you. There's absolutely no excuses for this football team, for this organization. You can blame the quarterback, you can blame the offensive line, you can blame the coaching, but you know who you also can blame, or who you can't blame? You can't blame John Robinson for this. And unfortunately, everybody's asking for somebody to be fired today. And now I think this is going to be the time where nobody gets fired, because she jumped the gun and fired John Robinson too early. Now she's going to be afraid to fire somebody. So we're going to be stuck. And this is the one draft where there's not really a quarterback in the draft where it's worth taking for. So congratulations, Amy. Congratulations, Tennessee Titans. You're the worst team. The Carolina Panthers were better than you. They put up 30 points with their backup quarterback yesterday, and you're stuck here.
Red Rifle.
So have a great rest of your season. That's all I got.
Thanks, Wes. Good call.
Thanks, pal.
I hope you feel better.
He's got a great point there. I
He's
mean,
got
for
a lot of
all
great-
that goes on. And yeah, I mean, there is not a great quarterback, at least, right now. I mean, I'd like a Caleb Williams type. He's the generational change quarterback and all that. Look, all you got to do now, you got to go out and play next Monday night against the Miami Dolphins. And you got to let this fester for a whole week and figure out what you can do and what's going to happen. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see any fire from the head coach. And look, Miss Amy, you're feel free to call in. You have an open invite to call in anytime you want. It'll be a very pleasant, very genuine conversation. No name calling. No, you are more than welcome to call in and talk about your football team. Because I'll tell you what, if I were a football team and people are talking about me this way, you're damn straight I'm calling in. And and don't say, well, they're listening. Yeah. They all know. Chase, you and I saw in Miami, DeAndre Hopkins go off on all of us and Teron Davenport about saying how they weren't going to win. Remember?
Oh,
They read, they listen, they know what's going on.
Of course they do.
And so, call in. Let's talk to you.
I think, look, if she would agree to come on this show, I would call Robbie right now. Here are the questions we're going to ask. And I'm usually not about that. But
zero. Yeah, I get you.
But hey, if that would make this happen,
do it.
And just speaking very candidly, I'd keep her away from somebody else. It'd be you and I that would do this interview. And you're right.
So from 6 to 2, you can call in, Amy. But no, I mean, I would want to call in and say, people give Jerry Jones grief, right? Because he does an interview every week. Yeah, he gets out there in the mess. Like, here's what's coming from the horse's mouth. Here's what's going on. I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. And I mean, to put it on the other side, I mean, Barry Trotz comes on each week with Jared, right? A general manager of a pro team. He takes all kind of questions. Jared doesn't hold back on him. So, Amy, you have the floor. We want you to succeed. I want this team, my hometown team, to go to the Super Bowl. Of course not.
The closest she's ever come is, she'll sit down with either Teresa or Mike Keith. That's all she's ever done, in situations like this. And that's fine. That's her choice. But It's optics to me. 615-737-1025. Brett Kern will join us at 10. We'll get his reaction to everything. Tony wants to react to the Titans loss. Tony, what's up?
Everything good out here trying to make my wife some money.
Huh?
Well, what I was saying about the game yesterday. Now, I understand how you all and everybody else feel about Malik Willis. But the bare fact of the thing is, I don't care what kind of scheme a coach come up with, he still got to have a quarterback to carry it out. You don't think Brian Callahan had a scheme for Levis yesterday? This guy just can't carry it out. Now, that's not nothing against his character or anything, but that's just a fact. Malik Willis went out there in 2 days and carried out his coaching staff scheme. And yesterday, he was under distress too. And when you look at the game film with Levis, he had times to throw the ball multiple times. But a good quarterback, just like a good point guard on a basketball team, know where his players is on the doggone chessboard. When he drops back, you got to know where your players is so you can make fast decisions. That game is fast. Ain't nobody standing around waiting on you to go through your progressions to see where it is. But now a couple of those sacks, oh man, he just got bulldozed. That's good. That's understandable. But Levis had time to throw the ball if he knew where to go with it.
Yeah. Totally agree. Thanks for the call, Tony. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tony. Get that money back.
And he is right. I mean, there are some sacks that were on him. There's some sacks I'm not going to put on the O-line. There's some that he's hanging on to. It reminds me, unfortunately, of the last guy to wear 8, and that is Mariota.
Right.
That if that first read isn't there, he's in trouble. And so far, what Levis is showing, it's kind of the same thing. If that first read's there, he's golden. He's good.
Yeah.
Fine. But if he's got to go through his progressions, it's like, honestly, it'd be like me. Like, my brain can't move fast enough to do that thing. So,
well, it's
I
got to
don't
be,
know.
I mean, a progression. We talk about that. You don't have 18 seconds to stand in there and like, oh, is he going to get open? It is like, boom, not there,
Yeah.
boom, not there, boom, not there. All right, I'm going to run. I'm taking off like that. The Packers just completely outcoached the Titans yesterday in every way. And again, I go back to seeing no fire from that sideline and watching players walk off the field, missing tackles and not getting mad. That's an effort thing. That's an effort thing. Right now, the team's got no effort. They should be embarrassed of what happened yesterday. Just bad football. And I really don't care what they think.
Yeah.
You know, the result is on the field, you're 0-3.
Sure.
And it's not getting any better, and you're the worst team in football.
615-737-1025. Your reaction. We continue that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 1025-1063 The Game.
for our guys and proud of their effort.
You mentioned how we don't get it.
Whatever, keep going, keep firing away. They told me this city was going to burn if we came in here and won the game, so I guess it is.
That is Matt LaFleur's press conference. Somebody pulled a fire alarm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Matt LaFleur had some good ones. Dr. Crane, I don't know if you could find it or not. I hate putting you on the spot, but you're so good. When he awarded Malik Willis the game ball, if you could find that audio, it's really, really good.
Yes, sir.
And it was something. And the Titans lose. Our question today is, what's worse, A.J. Brown, Malik Willis? The way they lost to A.J. Brown was bad, but this one hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Because A.J. was hell-bent on showing out and showing off that day. And, he did. You didn't stop him.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Yesterday was just kind of like, what's happening?
Is this
what's going on?
Is this the second or third meeting since LaFleur went to Green Bay?
His first year in Green Bay would have been 19. I know they played what was that Thursday night game? 22?
That was the last win before Robinson got fired.
Then there was a game in 20 during COVID where, remember Brett Kern talked about?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Vrabel yelling at him?
I think it's the third meeting.
Yeah.
So he's 2-1.
2-1
against the Titans.
Yeah, and people are like, well, they should have kept LaFleur and got rid. Look, when LaFleur went to Green Bay, who was his quarterback?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. So you and I could have done pretty well. Now, but with Jordan Love, he's shown that
he has shown
he's a good coach.
Yeah.
They had time with LaFleur. He had time to establish things up there. They didn't pull him after 1 or 2 years. So having Aaron Rodgers helps you out, but then having Jordan Love really helps you out. And then now you're able to scheme it up with Malik Willis and go forward and win the game. And now Malik Willis is 2-0.
Come in here and
as a start going back to the Packers.
Not only beat you, but embarrassed you.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, the Titans were embarrassed yesterday, and they should be. They should be embarrassed. And, but the Callahan part of this, I'm concerned. There are definitely some concerns with some things that I have seen, but he's a rookie head coach. So I am willing to see if he's going to grow from some of these things, and you might disagree with that.
I don't know. All right, here is Matt LaFleur giving the game ball to Malik Willis yesterday.
This guy was 13 and 19 for 202. 73 yards on the ground.
That's awesome.
And it was so loud. He said, this is a city. They say city or team or city that got rid of you.
Yeah.
And some part of that LaFleur said that right there.
For nothing. For a bag of footballs.
Yeah, and you hear the excitement in the voice and everything. So, good for Malik. He went up there and did what, he got the 2 wins. Jordan Love probably back this week, but it is what it is. Your football team's 0-3. And you talk about Callahan, you give him a little time. What's happened in the National Football League, and they've hired all these cute offensive coaches across the league.
Yeah.
And they don't like yelling. They don't like getting in your face, and it's all going to be better. It's like going to my son's preschool when he was 4 years old. It's going to be okay. That's okay that you
Every
sit there.
Little thing.
Yeah, your diaper's full of you know what. It's going to be okay. That's all right. Oh, you're biting the other kid. Don't do that. Look, man, this is a National Football League. These are grown men. I mean, you jump their bottom, and nobody's doing that right now. And I don't know. It's telling because it's happening across the league. But the fact is, your team's 0-3, man.
By the way, so my tweet yesterday during the game when I was the most frustrated has gotten a lot of response, and nobody's disagreed with it to this point. But I said, let's just all accept it. The Titans aren't a good team. It pisses me off, too. I got into this business as a fan. I'm still a fan. I'm pissed. I'm tired of this bad or mediocre. And then I used a word I can't say on the radio.
Why would you use a word you can't hear on the radio?
Oh, it happens. But it's true. I mean, that's just kind of apathy has truly set in with Titans fans, and that's not a good thing. 615-737-1025. Fido wants to weigh in on the Titans' loss. What's going on?
Not much. I just wondered, it looks like to me that coach, and I know he's a rookie coach, but it looks like to me he's losing that team because that defense didn't play good. And how much longer is they going to keep playing with us because something's got to give now. And I'll hang up and listen to you.
All right,
you.
thanks for the call. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Fido.
Yeah, I think he meant Levis, but
It's all right, man.
yeah, I don't. That's the tough decision. The knee-jerk reaction, which knee-jerk reactions are a big reason why the Titans are in the position they're in.
Right.
The knee-jerk reaction is, okay, you go and you start Mason Rudolph Monday night. I don't think that's the right move.
I agree.
I don't think that Will Levis is the guy long term. I think I have seen enough to this point that unless something changes drastically, and look, there were people in Buffalo, New York that said this about Josh Allen. And guess what? Things drastically changed.
Well, they built around him.
They built around him, but they developed him, and they did a very good job of developing him. Unless I see a drastic change, though, I don't think anything that might just be
because the offensive line was awful. That I think you started in Miami. If you're 0-4 and you continue the same thing, I mean, you got to put somebody else in.
Yeah.
It's like a starting pitcher who's struggling into the third inning. Like, well, if he gets to the fifth inning, he can get himself a win because you got to pitch 5 innings. But by the third inning, he's getting knocked around. You got to get him out and put the relief pitcher in. I think one more start, and then after that, now, well, what if they win? What if they win? Then you build a little momentum. You got a week off, kind of build some things going that way. But I think you have to go with Will Levis one more time, and then you figure it out from there. It's just, again, there's so many questions on this football team that it kind of blows your mind they've gotten this bad.
I would love to know what a certain former Titans quarterback is thinking right now. I'm sure he doesn't care, nor should he, but
no.
I'd love to ask Ryan Tannehill. But
I thought you were talking about Mettenberger.
No, he's coaching.
I know.
He's coaching.
He won this past Friday.
Did he?
He ended the 27-year streak with NBA and Father Ryan. He's
wow.
I think, OC over at Father Ryan.
Yeah, you're right. That's cool.
Oh, nice.
That's very cool.
Okay.
Adam in Portland wants to weigh in. Adam, what's up?
Yeah, Chase, I usually agree with most of what you say. I think it's
Thanks.
dangerous to say, look at Josh Allen. Like, we can't compare these guys, man. And I know you followed it up with probably, isn't it? I think Will Levis thinks something like that, and he's like, it's going to be good. He is so bad. He is the worst quarterback we've drafted. He's worse than Locker. Right now, progression-wise, he's worse than Jake Locker. He's worse than Mettenberger. He's chronically bad for us right now. He's hazardous. And it's not his fault. Most of it's his fault, but that offensive line, I've never seen 5 guys collectively be so lost and out of place, especially when you got what you guys call a Hall of Fame offensive line coach. Latham's gotten worse. Nobody wants to say that. Skoronski's horrible. This is bad. And the right side, I mean, you could cut all those players on the right side and just get practice squad players, probably get the same production, if not better. I'm numb to it, Chase. I wasn't even upset yesterday. I was just like, okay, dark days again. We're back to nothing. We're back to trash. We're going to be at the top of the draft. Peel the stickers off all your stuff. Throw your jerseys away. We suck. We're the worst. Carolina would smoke us. Andy Dalton, can you imagine? Malik sucks. We can all say it out loud. He sucks. Andy Dalton would have passed for 400 yards against us yesterday. It was awful, man. I can't stand it.
But you know what? You got that. You played for the corners, that these great cornerbacks coming in. They're going to make a difference. Your cornerback, they're terrible. You know why? Because I think they're getting paid. They don't give a damn. And hey, if those 2 guys are listening, want to call in and debate me, I'd love it. But these guys are getting paid. I don't think they care. Show me you care.
There are guys that do care, but for the most part, I agree. The body language was terrible.
Awful. They were walking off the field after giving up touchdowns. You need to run. All right. See, you know what? I'm trying to, my cholesterol's up lately and my blood pressure. And now a football team that I don't even really care about, but I want to see do well, is doing this to me. That's my fault.
And that's the thing. You do care. People say they don't. They do. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I think the theme of the day, and to Adam's call, I know when I left Nissan Stadium, I was singing Whitesnake, Here I Go Again, because that's what this felt like yesterday after the loss.
Well, let me ask you this. If you're singing Whitesnake, Here We Go Again, who's on the hood of your car? Jared?
No, definitely not Jared.
Oh, man.
Definitely not him. We'll continue to take your calls and texts coming up next. Chase and Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game. Chase and Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game. Very appropriate. This is what Titans fans are feeling this morning. Not indeed.
Keep it. Go, Chase.
Let it play. Let it play. Oh, such a classic. And
Right
I love
here,
this
too.
line right here. So good. I saw them live at Ascend a few years ago, and they were great up until I realized that he was totally lip syncing.
Oh, no. Oh, man. Was he Was that the rain that came in?
Yeah,
the big
and
storm.
Jason Bonham was supposed to open for them, and then they opened for Foreigner.
Wow.
So it ended up being a good show, that's for sure. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We're live today at Hermitage Golf Course, Pella Windows and Doors, their charity golf tournament that they do every year. So happy to be a part of that. Dr. Crane is back at the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, with a buzz, as always, about great service. Let's go back to the phones. A lot of you want to weigh in. Then Brett Kern's going to join us at the top of the hour. Steven will lead us off. Steven, welcome in.
Good morning, fellas. Everybody needs to take a deep breath and settle down. Embrace the suck. Quit trying to be a competitive football team. J-Rob's fired, yes, but before he was fired, he missed on 3 of his last 4 drafts. This team was depleted of talent, and it's going to take more than one offseason to fix it. Everything you didn't like about the O-line last year, 40% of it is still there this year.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Callahan is great, but you can only put lipstick on a pig. Everything you didn't like about Will Levis coming out of Kentucky is still there. Brian, he can only put lipstick on a pig. It's going to take a couple of years for this team to get the talent on the roster. What really changed is everybody's expectation. Brian Callahan came in, brought Pops with them, and we all thought these guys are magicians. They're not. They're football coaches. Temper your expectations, understand what reality is, and embrace the suck, because that's what it's going to be like this year, probably next year too. That's just the reality of it.
Hey, I mean, I don't think you're wrong on that. So good call. Thanks, Steven. Appreciate it. Let's go to JJ. Titans weighing in. JJ, what's up?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Hey, the low point yesterday, yes, it was on the field, but when you're the hype man and they hand you the mic, you can't let the crowd shout you down. Greg Morgan comes out in the hype moment, and he got shouted down. I was there by the Go Pack Go chants.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it was
You mean you weren't chanting "Tighten Up" when he was doing that, or were you getting drowned out by "Go Pack Go"?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Back in the old, I just covered my eyes with my hand and drug it down my face like he had egg on it. I felt so bad for him.
Oh, yes. Nice. Oh, JJ, you're the best, buddy.
No problem, fellas. Y'all have a good one.
You too. Appreciate the call.
Real quick, back to the previous caller. We live in a society now where it's now. I'm not looking for the 26 Titans team to be good. I'm looking for the team, and it's everybody. It's about the now. Nobody builds anymore. It's about the now. We're playing for the now. I get your frustration. I get the patience. I get all that. That's all gone. It's about the now.
Yep, 100% agree. Let's go to Mike. Mike wants to vent. Welcome in, Mike.
Hey guys, so yeah, not the last call, but the one before last. Like, I can understand being calm to some extent, but we can't even develop players with the team that we have and the system that they have going on. Like, if we want to scrap everything and go embrace sucking or whatever, like, you have to be able to at least improve in some way, shape, form, or fashion somewhere. Like, let younger players pop in or whatever. But man, like, every quarterback we're going to have is going to die back there. I don't care if it's Levis, Tom Brady. They're going to die with that offensive line. Our Traylon Burks is useless. Guy can't catch a cold. There's just so much frustration. I thought to myself, like, I left Double Dogs in Gallatin about a quarter and a half in, but just like, oh, I already know how this is going to go. And we played Carolina. At least if we play Carolina, we have a shot. And then I saw what Dalton did. I'm just like, golly, we might be the worst team in the league. And as of right now, we are, until we can change something. I don't know what it is, but have they came out with the individual offensive line stats yet?
I haven't seen them yet, like the Pro Football Focus ones.
I patiently waiting just to laugh to see what the numbers for Nicholas Pete-Ferrer and Skoronski were. Because, I mean, golly. I mean,
Can you get a 0?
We can go ahead and kind of tell you what we think.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Appreciate it.
Got mad at us.
I don't think I don't know if you really need a grade to see how
No.
bad they were.
No, not at all.
Dylan wants to weigh in. Dylan, what's up?
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of negativity right now. We were 2-4 when we went to the AFC Championship. As we played bad yesterday, we can all admit that. We've been hearing that on the radio this whole morning. But it's a week-to-week basis in the NFL. The Raiders, they played great against the Ravens a week ago, but then they played terrible last week against this past week against the Carolina Panthers. 0-2, barely could score a touchdown. There's a lot of new things in the system with Bill Callahan, Brian Callahan, Denard Wilson. We just need. Yesterday, I saw a big problem with the defense not blitzing on Malik Willis, not giving him any pressure. Will Levis was getting attacked on the blitz. We should definitely be doing a lot more screens, not to the running back, more to Calvin Ridley or Tyler Boyd, the money that we paid and stuff like that. It's just
we're with you. But let me ask you this, Dylan: do you really think this football team can go compete right now? I know you say week to week. Tell me what you've seen out of this football team. Even the defense has come out. I think Ernest Jones came out and said our stat numbers were fake. So you got the linebacker saying we got to play better. Show me on this football team that they can compete with anything in the National Football League? Because I don't think they can.
Yeah, you might be right. I like to have a little hope.
We love you, man.
I
We love
respect
you.
it, man.
We love you.
I came here from New York and I moved to Tennessee over in the borough to be part of this organization. And, I just like to keep hope alive and try to keep the positivity going. It's a long season.
Keep it,
especially
baby.
the way
We
we're
love you.
headed right now.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it. By the way, you just handed me this in the franchise history. So going back to Houston, all the times they started 0-3. 1973, they went 1-13. Obviously, didn't make the playoffs. 1983, they went 2-14, missed the playoffs. 84, 3-13, no playoffs. 94, 2-14. That led to Jeff Fisher being hired as the head coach, missed the playoffs. 2001, 0-3, finished 7-9, missed the playoffs. 2006, 0-3, went 8-8, missed playoffs. 2009, 0-3, 8-8, missed the playoffs.
Season's over, boys.
So don't expect the play. And I don't know how many people truly expected the playoffs this year.
Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, some did.
God bless you, Dylan.
We'll get Brett Kern was on a couple of those teams. We'll get his thoughts on the Titans and what he saw yesterday. Coming up next, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chase and Big Joe live today at Hermitage Golf Course, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane is back at the studios, and as we do at this time every Monday on a Reaction Monday, we'll get former Titans punter Brett Kern's thoughts on the Titans. And Brett, unfortunately, another loss, and this time to the Green Bay Packers and a former offensive coordinator and a former quarterback. So I'll just leave it open-ended. Your thoughts on yesterday's performance at Nissan Stadium?
No, yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys are at least at the golf course this morning. That's a good place to be to air out your frustrations. The pretty scenery out there at the Hermitage, great place to play some golf. But yeah, I mean, week 3 is always interesting because you get your home opener out of the way, you get your road trip out of the way. A lot of crazy things can happen. No block punch yesterday, right? So we're good there.
That's good.
Yeah, right. So the craziness of the first 2 weeks is kind of over. You start having some stuff on film, some tendencies potentially on certain situations, certain downs. And so now teams can scout a little bit more and they can kind of game plan. And obviously yesterday, Matt came in. He knew exactly what he wanted to do with Malik as far as when to pass, how to pass, play action, for him to rush over 70 yards on the ground. That was obviously part of the game plan as well. And I noticed that they didn't really run up the middle at all, right? They stayed away from Sweat and Big Jeff, which was obviously a part of the game plan. Hit the corners, maybe go a little bit more east and west and use their speed. And then, I think more from a disappointing standpoint defensively, there just seemed to be a lot of missed tackles yesterday compared to the first 2 weeks. So, they came in, they had a plan, and they executed it. And then, for us as the Titans, it obviously, I don't care who you put back there at quarterback, you're not going to win a game, giving up 8 sacks, and you're definitely not going to win any games when you're dead last in the league at -7 in turnover differential. Like you're not going to win, right? And so I think that was contributed to another loss.
You lived it firsthand, and granted, it was only a year, but Matt LaFleur was here, when Vrabel came in as the offensive coordinator. And, from my perspective, not being there every day, it was like, okay, it wasn't great. And then he gets the job in Green Bay. And so the narrative is, oh, well, he has Aaron Rodgers. But since Rodgers left and seeing what he's done to develop Jordan Love, now seeing 2 weeks of Malik Willis, I got to give Matt LaFleur a lot of credit. What did you see, though, in that year that he was here that maybe were some things that we didn't see?
Yeah, I mean, he was credit Green Bay, first of all, for going and getting Malik, right? Because I think what you want is your starter and your backup to be very similar to where you don't have to really change up anything offensively scheme-wise, right? I think what Jordan does is similar to what Malik does. Obviously, Jordan being very efficient. He finished last year extremely well, got paid. But Malik is, kind of, you could say an understudy or does a lot of things similar to Jordan. So for Matt to come in, he obviously has a game plan with Jordan. He probably really didn't have to change much with Malik as far as what he wanted to do. So, but Matt, I always, enjoyed Matt. He was always in the office, doing things. And I think he just was able to really scheme up things against certain defenses and would watch film from years ago or, recently and just would find ways to get the ball to the guys that needed to get the ball and how to get them open, and also multiple ways of getting the ball to them. It's not just, hey, we have these 10, 15 run plays. I think yesterday on the broadcast, they were talking about over 50 run plays, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of plays, right? And so he just finds different ways to get his guys that he wants to have the ball, to get them the ball. And I think he puts, guys in the best position to succeed, right? And so you saw that yesterday with Malik to come in, looked very comfortable. And I saw that improvement, a little bit through the preseason and whatnot. But, obviously for Matt to come in, like I said, have the game plan that he wanted to, mixed in the run. They rushed for 188 yards. That's, they're the Titans 33. You're not going to win many ball games losing the rushing stats like that. So, but Matt's a great guy. I'm happy for him that he's doing well in Green Bay, and obviously for them to be 2-1 without your guy, without your starter, for Malik to come in and go 2-0 for them is pretty great.
We're talking to the former Titans punter, Brett Kern, here on the very popular Chase and Big Joe show, live from Hermitage Golf Course. Brett, let me ask you this. I don't know how they do it in the pros, but in college, on a Monday, we would all watch the game together, the team would. Then we'd break out to individual groups, and, we all saw what we did wrong together, and then your coach gets you and all that. How do they do that in the National Football League on a Monday? Like, what's happening today at Titans facility?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're coming in, you're getting your lift, you're hitting the tubs, any treatment that needs to get done. But then usually, you'll have a team meeting, and that's up to the coach. However the coach wants to conduct a team meeting, it could be a 5-minute meeting. It could be a half hour, it could be 45 minutes, and he can break down as much as he wants to. But then after that, then you go special teams, you watch all the special teams film as a unit, and then you break down even further into your position groups. And that could range, from a 20-minute, 30-minute meeting to, it could be an hour, hour and a half. It just depends on what film you want to watch, how much you want to watch, and how much you want to break it down. So, but I'm sure today they're watching everything from yesterday, breaking it down and, trying to make corrections, and then obviously getting ready for Miami Monday night.
All right. With that being said, I know you lose games, and it happens. You should not be happy at losing games, Brett, but when the effort isn't there, that's when I get mad. And I'm not seeing the effort the last 2 weeks. And how do you correct that? I mean, if they're not listening to Brian Callahan after 3 games, are they going to listen to him? I don't know. I mean, that's the frustrating part, Brett.
Yeah, I think effort is probably the one thing. I mean, I tell whether I'm coaching, my son who's in high school or our youngest who's in 3rd grade and her 3rd grade girl basketball team, right? I tell them, when you're playing, you can't control if the other person's taller than you. You can't control if the other person's stronger than you, right? Or they're faster or whatever. But the one thing that you can control is your effort, right? No matter what level of sport you're at is your effort. And I think yesterday seeing, Nicholas Petit-Frere get beat kind of reminded me when I'm at the Y playing basketball and I can't play defense because I have terrible knees. So when you get schooled like that, for him to turn around and not even go after the ball that's on the ground after you let your quarterback get smoked, that's a problem. I think yesterday watching the game, there's missed tackles, there's things, right? You're going to have that. Obviously, you don't want to have it. But when I saw that infuriated me because to me, that's a lack of effort and that's a lack of, well, you know what? Do I care or do I not care? You're giving off the motion that you just don't care. You got beat. And you just let your quarterback get smoked. He fumbled the ball, and you're not even going after the football. That's a problem. And seeing some of the sacks that Will took yesterday, are all of them on him? No. I mean, you have to go back and break down the film to see exactly what was happening on the sack. Right? Was Will supposed to throw to his one who was open and he just didn't throw, and he spent too much time, holding it in the pocket and he got sacked? That could be on Will, right? Or is it just complete protection failure like the one that Petit-Frere gave up, right? So I don't know. It's effort. It's super frustrating, but to see Petit-Frere do that, and then other times when Will got sacked and the O-line's not even helping him back up, there's a problem. There's a problem. I know the O-line's young. They probably feel like they're just trying to tread water through some of these games, especially when sacks are coming. It feels like in the boatload, right? But for me, when I got to the Titans, it was Kevin Mawai, right? I mean, that's a pretty darn good example to lead your offensive line. Ben Jones, another incredible leader. But you look at the offensive line, they had guys that were leaders. I remember, when Ben, if Tannehill or Marty or somebody got sacked, he was there to pick them up, right? Derek would have a big run or any type of run. Ben was there. Other guys were there to pick up Derek, right? I don't really see that, and that's a problem that I think it bothers me. And so, who's the leader of that group? Who's the leader on the offensive line? Who's the leader on the offense? I think Will's got the C on his chest, but he's got so much stuff going on. I don't know. That's a lot for him to have that C on his chest, that responsibility, when he's just trying to learn how to play quarterback in the NFL. So you add that on his plate too of trying to be a leader. Well, now your play has to match your leadership, with that C on your chest. And that's a lot. That's a lot to take on. So I just think the offense needs a leader. I think that offensive line needs a leader. And until that happens, I think they're going to struggle. They're on pace to give up 85 sacks this year, right?
Wow. Something like that.
Right now, they've given up 15 on 94 pass plays. That's 15% or 16%. When they drop back, there's a 16% chance that Levis is going to get sacked. That's a problem, and you're not going to win a lot of football games giving up sacks like that. And then when you're turning the ball over and you're not getting turnovers, you're not going to win any games.
Brett Kern is with us, former Titans punter. Real quick, when I watched yesterday, there was a guy that did stand out to me in a positive way that they hadn't used a lot, and that's DeAndre Hopkins. He had a touchdown. He was targeted 7 times, had 6 catches for 73 yards, whereas Calvin Ridley was targeted 3 times, 1 catch, 9 yards. That's a bit of a concern. But do you feel like that, DeAndre Hopkins obviously has something, and there's a chemistry there with Will Levis. Do you feel like that could be the answer moving forward? Just focus on him as much as you can?
I mean, he's going to have a gold jacket for a reason, right?
Yeah.
He's reliable. He catches the ball. He knows where to be. And I just think that's a massive security blanket for that. And obviously, D-Hop not playing in the preseason, I think you saw, Will being able to throw to Calvin in the preseason, and they look good and all that stuff. But, here we are. When push comes to shove and you're getting, sacked 8 times in a game, your tendency is you want to get rid of the ball and you want to get it to a guy that that's going to be open and who can catch it. And who's that? That's the guy that's going to have the gold jacket. So I think going forward, I just don't think the way things are going on offense that you're going to be able to have deep shots very often, unless you're running the ball well. 33 yards is not going to set up a play action. It's not going to be able to set up a lot of deep throws, right? And so I think there needs to be better attempts or doing better as far as rushing the ball to be able to set up some of those deep throws. And that's something that Calvin Ridley really excels at, right? His speed. You've seen some deep balls thrown to Calvin, double coverage, not double coverage. But I think going forward, especially with the O-line, you're going to be throwing quicker things, stuff that's under 2 seconds. And, for that to happen, I think you're going to want to throw to your guy, like I said, with the gold jacket, D-Hop. So I'll be curious to see how that looks going forward.
Going to be interesting for sure. Brett, appreciate it as always, and we will talk to you next week.
Sounds good. You have a good one.
You too. Brett Kern, former Titans punter, joins us every Monday for his reaction. Might move to Tuesday next week with it being a Monday night game, but always appreciate that. We'll get back to your reaction, 615-737-1025. The Titans are 0-3 to start the season. That's our phone and text line. And driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. Plus, thanks to our man John Glennon, we have the PFF grades for the offensive line. I can't wait to see your reaction. We'll do that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
That's the second week in a row Jeff said 8 sacks. Sometimes they're overloaded, other times, you know, it was other things. From your perspective, what was going on there?
Everything. You know, we tried to keep guys in the help. We tried to keep 7 and 8 in protection. Some of it was good. Some of it didn't work as well. We lost some one-on-ones. That's ultimately what happened a few times. You know, we got ourselves to some 3rd and longs in a spot where I didn't feel like just calling a quick game on 3rd and 14 just to get the ball out. I was trying to be competitive. The game wasn't over. And so we were in some tough spots for pass protection in general. When you're in 3rd and 12 and 13 and 14, it's difficult. Tried to call a couple screens and those didn't work. Those didn't get off. But yeah, it's frustrating.
I've come to talk with you again. Well done, Dr. Crane. Brian Callahan yesterday talking about the 8 sacks given up by the Titans offensive line. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 the game. Taking your reaction to just whatever this is with the Titans. 615-737-1025. We do have the PFF pass pro grades for the Titans. John Glennon.
Lay it on us.
Put this out there. J.C. Latham, 81.8, 1 pressure. Peter Skoronski, 52.9, 4 pressures, 2 sacks. Jeez. Not a good day. Lloyd Cushenberry, 39.5, 2 pressures. Dylan Radens, 75.1, 1 pressure. NPF, 48.3, 2 pressures, 1 sack, and that was the sack fumble. Jalen Duncan, who replaced him, 36.9, 2 pressures, 1 sack.
Good Lord.
1 sack attributed to Boyd, other 3 sacks not attributed.
That's awful. So you had one guy over 80, that's J.C. Latham. Radens, not bad at 75, but
I don't think Radens has been awful.
But you're a steam center, the best free agent pickup out there, had a 39.
Yeah, 0.5.
Okay,
yeah.
Thanks there.
I'm just I'm a man of facts, okay?
Oh man, this offensive line once again is terrible. I mean, this is not 1 or 2 guys, it's across the board.
Which that's a big concern. Now, look, I try to be the glass half full whenever I can. Maybe Bill Callahan needs a little more time with him.
Oh God!
But that right side's terrible, and the left side is concerning the crap out of me right now.
It's bad, and let's stop all the need more time. I mean,
Latham was Levis was laying on top of Latham during one of those sacks.
Wouldn't you just fall on top of him? And say, oh, let's do this together. I just it's so frustrating because he fixed offensive line. Calvin Ridley had 1 catch yesterday.
Yeah, that's a problem.
You're paying. Here we go. You're paying him all this money. He had 1 catch. He had Calvin Ridley, for all you stat geeks out there.
He had 3 targets.
Calvin Ridley had 1 more catch than I did yesterday.
Yeah.
So let you know about that. That's just terrible.
Here's what's telling. I'm going to read this stat line, and it applies to 2 players.
Okay.
3 targets, 1 catch, 9 yards. Calvin Ridley and Traylon Burks.
When I saw them throw that deep ball to Burks, double covered, I was like, what
this
game
is poorly.
Am I watching here? And it was bad. All you got to do is look around the National Football League and see what teams could you compete with. I mean, I watched that Chiefs-Falcons games last night. Falcons aren't the greatest team, but the effort was there. I know they're playing the Chiefs, but the effort was there throughout the entire game. That Cowboys-Ravens game was a fun game to watch because the effort was there. Those guys were fighting. I see no fight in this Titans. I really don't. I see no fight in this Titans team. And I don't know. Look, you go out, all you do is your next game is next Monday night against Miami. Just go win that one and just go block by block and try to figure things out. But, man, right now, Chihuahua.
This is Dr. Crane just sent this. This is from the 33rd team. Lowest pressure rates allowed by rookie offensive linemen in week 3, minimum 10 pass block snaps. Number 1 is Mason McCormick from Pittsburgh, 0%, 13 pass snaps, 0 pressure allowed. J.C. Latham, 2.3%, 44 pass snaps, 1 pressure allowed. So that's his, for whatever that's worth. So
let's just, all right, we need to stop. I mean, all these bottom line is you're 0-3. Your line sucks. Quarterback has no time to throw the ball. There's no effort from defense. Jeffrey Simmons likes to put his hands in the face and get penalties and go down the field. There's just so much going on.
I mean, that cost him a touchdown.
It sure did.
I mean,
all the way down, man.
That was terrible.
It's just, I sat next to a guy yesterday. He's like, why? We were talking about, what the radio show is like. I bet it's tough when they lose. I'm like, we're used
It's
to it.
It's actually easy.
We're used to it now. Phone lines, the text. I mean, if we got one text and one call, that would be concerning because then people are giving up. And you get so many people weighing in, so many people calling, talk about it. People still care. They want to see this football team succeed. It's just frustrating because they know at some point, hopefully, bad becomes good. And I just don't know when.
I agree. A couple of texts here. Mike in Lebanon, my advice to Amy, either clean out the house or sell the team. This organization is horrible, and you are the one to change it. I agree.
She ain't changing that,
Nope.
Wouldn't you love to be over there working the PSL phones today on the new stadium?
Hi, this is Greg from the Tennessee Titans. Would you click?
Hey, Greg, go to hell and hang the phone upon it. It affects every part of the franchise.
I mean, that's got to be the only thing holding her around, correct? It's the new stadium. I mean, if that's the case, why would she not want to step down to be like a minority owner instead of like the majority owner?
Well, she's not. No, she's not going to do. I mean, yes, it is the stadium because when you build a new stadium, guess what it does to the value of your football team? It raises it. And the fact that the Washington Commanders just sold for $6 billion,
right,
that's going to raise the value of the team as well. So if she is thinking about selling in the future, you get to the new stadium, and honestly, like the price of the team that whatever the team's going to sell for on the field doesn't matter. It's whatever somebody's willing to pay for it, but probably. Realistically, whether they're worth that or not, the team's going to sell for at least $6 billion.
Oh, that plus Dr. Crane, and you make a good point, but all she's ever known is owning a football team.
Yeah,
her entire life. That's all she's ever known is her dad owned the football team. Now she owns the football team. Well, controlling owner, whatever that means. So yeah, this is not going to be sold. I mean, what does that mean? You still got crappy players. I mean, she got to deal with what's on the field right now. We can blame her all day long, but it's what they've drafted and put on the field. And yes, Isaiah Wilson, Caleb Farley, Traylon Burks, Skoronski, 4 awful drafts. It'd be hard-pressed to find 4 worst number 1 picks down the line than this team has done the last 4 years.
Yeah,
615.
But at what point do you just say, if like you're a owner of a team, like, yeah, I've kind of seen my heyday with this team. I'm going to make my money while I can and just call it an end of a day type thing. Because it's kind of coming to that point for me.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm the same way. Like, again, this is nothing against Amy Adams Strunk, the person, but the team owner, I quite frankly just don't think she's done a good job. And if the team, if they brought Steve Underwood out once again, and instead of saying the team is not for sale, he said the team is for sale, I'd be like, okay, good.
All right.
Well, probably how it should be.
Coming up, I got a little message from Miss Amy.
Okay.
And Dr. Crane, this involves you.
All right. We will do that.
I'm not making pasta for her.
No.
615. No pasta from Miss Amy. 615-737-1025. Eric, we'll get to your call as well. It's Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game. Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Here on this Monday, we're live at Hermitage Golf Course, and Big Joe has a message for Amy Adams.
Yeah, all right, Dr. Crane, keep this up a little bit, okay? This is for Miss Amy Adams Front. I know there's a lot that's going on right now. New stadium being built. Football team's 0-3. Got a new coach in there. You know, I mean, knee-jerk reaction. You fired John Robinson. And I get it. But when you have lost Dr. Crane as a fan, you've lost. So maybe reflect a little bit, kind of figure out things, how to get a Dr. Crane back on your side. Because once he's given up, that's when you've hit rock bottom. So that's your message. That's my message to you today, is to get better and try to figure out a way to get this football team back going and get the Dr. Cranes of the world back on your side. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Okay. There you go.
Dr. Crane, I don't want to speak for you.
That's a good message.
But I'm speaking for you.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I'm going to make a food reference here, but normally to celebrate, you have pasta with red sauce, and you're probably going to have it without red sauce because there's just no fun in the pasta.
Right.
No pasta for you.
Could you imagine if she's in the car listening to that right now and thinking, what town am I in? What the hell? She'd sell for that to get away from us.
Oh, yes.
I'll buy it for $1.
Let's go back to the phone, 615-737-1025. Eric wants to weigh in on the O-line. Eric, what's up?
Hey, guys, let me say this. About the only thing that was good yesterday is at least we didn't have a punt block yesterday.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Big E.
Yeah, just a couple of things. Guys, first of all, I'm hoping I don't hear anybody harassing Will Levis as they did last week, calling his cell phone. I hope we don't hear any more of that, or showing up to his house, or any of the coaches or other players' houses and stuff like that, guys. I love football just as much as anybody, but guys, it's just football, and shame on you if you're doing stuff like that. That's insane. I'm not going to go that far, guys. But guys, as far as the game yesterday, guys, I tell you what, the offensive line was pitiful. I'm hearing people say, "Oh, if we had Malik Willis, you know, we shouldn't have traded." Guys, I don't think Malik Willis would have succeeded. Not giving up 8 sacks. Not the fact is, you got to give Matt LaFleur credit and the offensive coaching staff for using his skill set for their offense. They coach him up to the best of their ability. I just don't know with the coaches we have here, the offensive line, the situation, if he would have succeeded here. So more power to him. In fact, I think he's going to probably wind up being traded to go somewhere else. Jordan Love is clearly the number one quarterback, guys. I left, guys, when it was 27-7 after that. I guess it was that play by Jeffrey Simmons when they scored the touchdown. Of course, the next place on the screen pass. But also, we'll say one other thing, guys. I don't know if you brought this up. Here's one of the things. I think Ryan Callahan yesterday also was coaching scared, because here's the thing. Right before that, if you remember, we had the 4th down and 1. He was going to punt. The crowd booed. I didn't say anything. And then he called the timeout and then went for it. That means you heard that and you changed your mind. If you're going to go for it there, go for it there. Don't let the fans influence you. That's coaching scared. And the play call I thought was terrible. I mean, it's just so frustrating to see that, guys. I mean, don't want to give up or anything. But, you know, after tonight, if the other 2 teams win tonight, that means we're going to be the only winless team in football after both the Giants and Carolina won this weekend, which we thought they were the 2 of the worst teams in football. So that's definitely saying something. Guys, I'll get off. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Eric.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Eric.
It's a good call. I mean, he's right.
If a head coach is influenced by crowd boos, that's a bigger problem than we ever imagined.
That's not good.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah,
Is that bad? It's not good.
I don't. You know, I've never been one to boo. I'll boo a bad play.
Yeah.
You know, or a bad play call, but like overall, I don't like booing, and it's pretty close, man. Because I keep going, and we talk with Brett Kern about effort. I gotta see effort, man. If you get your butt kicked, but you're giving me effort, I'm okay. I mean, I'm not okay, but I'll accept that. When you get your butt kicked, you give me no effort. That's a problem, man. As we sit here and watch Carolina Panther highlights right now, and congratulations, Titans. You're now the worst team in football.
Smithers, are they booing or saying boo earns?
Right. Oh, man.
That's a good one. 615-737-1025. Garland says, unfortunate reality is that every NFL team, no matter how bad they are, turns a massive profit every season. Although Tennessee is owned by 3, their owners have already made money, and these losses, unlike any other sport in North America that will lose money if they don't make a competitive team. I mean, look, yeah, that's why you don't sell a team right away, because you're going to make money hand over fist no matter what.
Yeah, and plus it's an ego thing. I own the NFL team. You know what? The last thing I would own if I was worth all that money was an NFL team. I don't want these headaches in my life. I pass on that stuff.
Yeah.
No way in Hades, man.
9269. Speaking of whatever small silver linings there might be, can we start NWI and just let Burks be the practice squad hero? We've all seen more than enough.
Yeah, what are they doing?
I agree with that.
Is there a directive from up top to put Burks in the game? I don't know. I mean, talk about effort and no effort. That dude, he'd rather be 1,000 miles away from here. We've seen it every game with him. It's not there. Move on.
Mike says, it doesn't seem like to me the scouting department gets mentioned in all this very often. It didn't get mentioned mentioned last year. Hadn't been mentioned so far this year. At least that I've heard, the scouting department has been the same since like Bedingfield left.
Well, I think they've moved out. I think I've heard Paul Kuharski talk about that. They have slowly replaced guys under John. But look, the buck stops with your GM, with Rand Carthon. He's the one that picks the players. He's
Does
the
it
one,
though?
allegedly,
or is it Chad Brinker?
Yeah, right. So whatever. But those are the ones who ultimately that make the decision on who gets drafted. And it's been the Skoronski thing, man. I really want him to succeed. You know, the point, Chase, and this sounds terrible for me. The point when I knew Skoronski was not it, we had him on our show during camp. And I said, he came back from appendicitis. And I said, were any of the defensive players trying to hit you in the where you had the pit? Football's a dirty game.
Yeah.
It's a nasty, violent, dirty game. He's like, well, I sure hope they didn't hit me there. That's not how I want to play football. If I'm going against the injured guy who just came off an appendectomy, you're damn right I'm going for the part that's injured.
Yeah.
And he's like, I hope they don't get me there. I'm like,
well, that's kind of a part of it.
What? You're injured and you're playing. I'm going to accent that injury. I'm trying to win a game.
Well, and that goes back to the, Barry Trotz, you may remember, had the old saying, are they hurt or are they injured? And there's two different things.
Big difference.
Like
Thank
everybody
you.
plays hurt.
Everybody. You don't play injured.
Right.
You're right.
John from the Borough, we should be 2-1. We could have won the first two, but we stunk it up in game 3. Bad game planning. Here's my question, and this might fire up some Titans fans. But we love hypotheticals on this show.
Yeah, we do.
What would Tannehill's record be in these first 3 games?
1-2. They'd have won that Bears game.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think they win at least 1 with him, but maybe 2.
I think the Jets game, they let Aaron Rodgers get too comfortable in the second half, and that determined what was going on.
Yeah.
A few mistakes. They'd be 1-2. They'd be a competitive 1-2.
Oh, well, I think they could have been better yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least 1-2.
Levis is playing scared. Like if you watch him now, like it's almost like he's going out there trying not to make a mistake, and when you do that, you make a mistake.
Right. Yep.
That's kind of how it goes. So we'll continue again throughout the day. The official debut of DVD, DMase, Vingan, and Daunic, with Adam Vingan joining full time. That will take place here in about 15 minutes. They'll also be here at Hermitage Golf Course, so they'll continue to take your reaction. Right now, though, we have your chance to qualify to win a pair of tickets to see WWE Friday Night SmackDown in the all-inclusive Eurostone Club at Bridgestone Arena on Friday, October 4th. This is presented by Green Trees, a family-owned cannabis company and dispensary providing high-quality legal THC products. You can check them out online at greentrees.com. But you must answer this trivia question. You must tell Dr. Crane the answer to this. And if you were watching Friday Night SmackDown, you should know the answer to this question. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, they filmed a segment at where he played college football. Where did Roman Reigns play college football? 615-737-1025. Adam Vingan knows the answer. Sean Mark knows the answer. Joe, I think you know the answer too.
Yep.
You got to tell Dr. Crane, and you'll qualify to win a pair of tickets to see Friday Night SmackDown in the Eurostone Club at Bridgestone Arena on Friday, October 4th. We'll put a bow on things, plus tell you what day it is, and celebrity birthdays. Chasing Big Joe on a Monday, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game here on this Monday, live at Hermitage Golf Course. Pella Windows and Doors golf tournament coming up. DMase, Vingan, and Daunic will be here as well. DVD making their official debut today. So looking forward to that. Plus, they'll have reaction. You'll hear from Brian Callahan. He's going to speak around 11:30. Plus, their full reaction to the Titans' loss yesterday to the Green Bay Packers. The question I asked for to qualify for the SmackDown tickets: where did Roman Reigns play college football? Joe Anawai is his real name. Did you know, Big Joe?
I did not know.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
So he played at Georgia Tech like 02 to 06, I think, somewhere in there. 2006 was his senior year.
Okay, so he played Calvin Johnson, maybe?
I think they may have overlapped for at least a year.
Played with Derek Morgan?
Yep. And then he had a couple of practice squad training camp invites with the Minnesota Vikings and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Played 1 year in the CFL with the Edmonton Eskimos before starting his wrestling career, which I think has worked out quite well.
Kind of like the same thing The Rock did.
The Rock, Bill Goldberg. There were several others that have done that. Ron Simmons, who we've talked to on the show before.
That's right, up to the CFL.
Obviously, we're going to be reacting to the Titans 0-3 start all week. They go to Miami. Miami's kind of in a situation right now because Tua's hurt. Skylar Thompson, to me, is not the answer for them, moving forward. But both teams are going to be desperate, in desperation mode Monday night when they kick off. But things are not good with the Titans right now. And I'm curious of what Brian Callahan has to say, but I don't know if there's much of a spin you can really put on things with the way this team is played and the fact that it's an 0-3 start, but we'll see at 11:30. That is for sure. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays.
All right, gentlemen. First on the list, it is all over the place today. We have Family Day first on the docket.
Okay.
Let's see. We have
Should be every day.
Energized Day. There's that. Let's see. International Day of Sign Language. So, I don't know sign language, but that seems fun. Let's see. Celebrate Bisexuality Day. So you have that. National Checkers Day. I guess that is something to do with animals and politics or something. I don't know. I've never heard of that. Let's see. National Great American Pot Pie Day. Love me a good pot pie. Let's see. We also have National Snack Stick Day. I think that might be for dogs. I don't know. Let's see. Restless Leg Awareness Day. Yeah, that happens to a few people from time to time. You sit down for a while. We have Teal Talk Day. And then this one, it looks like an herb. It's Za'atar Day. Z-A'-A-T-A-R. Again, these days, gentlemen, I don't know what they are, but we continue to have fun on the Chase and Joe show.
Yeah, we do. We have fun. Oh, Dr. Crane, we love you so much. Oh man. With that, let's get to celebrity birthday. Oh, you got to get these guys within 2 years. Okay? I can't do this. All right, let's go. This is why we have fun. Oh my goodness.
Everybody's looking at us like, why are they laughing?
All right, first birthday singer Julio Iglesias. How old is he?
83.
Julio Iglesias. 72.
He's 81. Chase up what nothing. Oh my goodness. Oh, the boss, Bruce Springsteen.
75.
78.
75 exactly. Chase up 3-0. Jason Alexander.
Oh, George Costanza.
His best role is in Pretty Woman. Oh my gosh.
59.
63.
65.
Nice.
Dr. Crane's on the board. He should celebrate appropriately. Who? Anthony Mackie. He's one of the Marvel guys.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Is he Hawkeye or whatever?
No, he's not Hawkeye. He's 40.
36.
46. Oh, man. I don't need to go to the gym now. I got a ab workout.
So
Thank
did
you. Who else we got here? I don't even know what's going on. Where am I? Let's see here. How we guys doing, Dave? Doing okay? Rapper, producer, record executive Jermaine Dupri.
52.
58.
Oh, he's 52 exactly. Chase up 5-1. Eric Michael Estrada of O-Town, handsome singer.
37.
40.
45. All right, let's
You
get
okay, Joe?
Oh my gosh! All right, sports birthdays. Golfer Larry Mize.
Larry Mize, 84.
88.
66.
Yeah, little off.
A guy that Derek Mason gave fits to, Marvin Lewis.
70.
67.
66. All right, 5-2. Derek Mason's old head coach, John Harbaugh.
Coach Harbaugh.
Come on, Derek.
I'll go with Derek. 59.
57.
62.
Oh, soft.
Former pitcher Pete Harnish.
71.
77.
58. Chase, you win. We got one more. Matt Kemp.
42.
Former baseball player?
Yes.
48.
He is 40. Chase wins 6-2.
That will do it for us.
Are you sure?
Maybe. More reaction on the Titans 3-0 or 0-3 start and loss yesterday to Green Bay. Coming up next with DVD, DMase, Vingan, and Daunic.
As we leave you guys, every show, we'll tell you guys that we love you. If you're going through some tough times on your cell phone, you can dial 988. Know that you're here for a reason, that we talk about. God has a journey for you that's a beautiful journey, and one that I hope you understand and can embrace and love. And I know we go through dark times and tough times, but know that we are here for you. And please talk to somebody. If before you do anything, please do that, and know that you are tremendously loved.
Amen to that. Stick around. More Titans reaction plus Brian Callahan at the bottom of the hour, his press conference. DVD is coming up next. 102.5, 106.3, The Game.